What is going on, everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for New Comic Book Day, October 5th, 2022. There were so many new series that came out this week, and I'm so excited to talk about them with you guys. I've got books today to talk about from Boom Studios, Image, Marvel. I ended up not getting the new Joker series from DC, and I did miss out on Shock Shop issue number 2 from Dark Horse as well, but I've got some other really awesome ones to go over with you guys, so let's jump right into it. Oh, and if you do enjoy today's video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, the subscribe button, you know, all that good stuff, and make sure you comment down below what your top read of the week was. And here we go, everyone, kicking this top 10 list off first. We've got coming in at number 10. This is Image's brand new one. We've got 3 keys. Issue number 1. This is cover A. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really wasn't planning on grabbing this one, but I needed something to fill out a top 10 list, so it was a very last second pickup. Honestly, I thought it was just alright. I did really like the artwork, but in my opinion, this first issue, it kind of fell all over the place. The beginning of it gave us a nice introduction, but then towards the middle, leading towards the end, there was a lot of different stuff going on, and then the ending kind of brought it all together, letting us know exactly where the story is going to be going. I might continue on with it, but to me, as a first issue, it also felt a little overwhelming with the amount of info and the characters that they gave us. I don't know if it's just my opinion. Let's talk about it more down below, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 10 this week. This is Image's brand new one, 3 keys, issue number 1. Next up this week at number 9, we've got Image's Undiscovered Country, issue number 21, and this is cover A for this one. You guys already know, I'm a huge fan of this series. I always recommend it when it pops up on these top 10 lists, so try to find a trade paperback and get yourself caught up, because if you're not reading it, you're definitely missing out on a great story. However, with this issue, and kind of with this entire arc, I definitely feel very confused while I'm reading it, but that's the entire design of this zone that the characters are currently in, because it's not just me that's confused. All of the characters are very confused as well. In this zone, a little bit of spoilers are coming up, but they can die in this zone, and basically when they get reborn, they're put in a different time period. All of our main characters are scattered all across time, and there's a lot of different stuff that's going on as well. So like I said, kind of confusing in this current arc, but I'm really excited to see how they tie it together. Let me know what you thought about it, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 9 this week. This is Image's Undiscovered Country, issue number 21. Next up this week at number 8, we've got Dynamite's brand new series. We have Sweetie, Candy Vigilante, issue number 1. This is cover B. I was really looking forward to this first issue, and it did not let me down. But I'll tell you what, guys. As soon as you begin to read this first issue, when you flip that cover page over, you got to read that introduction. Because as far as the first issue goes, we don't really get a lot of story out of this one. And that introduction, it introduces us to Sweetie. We learn that she's a blood relative to Candyman, and we kind of learn about her mission. As far as the rest of the issue goes, we get to see some awesome action. Sweetie is very badass, seems like a fun character. If I had to put a comparison on it, she kind of reminds me a little bit of Deadpool and Harley Quinn mixed together. So brutal, violent, badass, but then as far as, Deadpool goes, a little brain dead. She's kind of all over the place, but overall, very fun first issue. Give it a shot. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 8 this week. This is Dynamite's new one. We've got Sweetie, Candy Vigilante, issue number 1. Next up this week at number 7, we've got Marvel's Hulk, issue number 9. This is cover A, and for those of you interested in this one, this is the start of a brand new arc. I'm a little surprised at myself for picking this one up. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I'm not a big fan of this Hulk series, at all. I do like the artwork. I love the action panels. Ryan Ottley is doing a killer job on it. But as far as the story goes, I think it's severely lacking. But, it was a little bit lighter of a week for me, start of a brand new arc. I thought to myself, why not give it a try? As soon as I opened that first page and it said, this is so stupid, I was like, this is definitely going to be some foreshadowing. I wasted my money, but honestly, it was actually a pretty solid first issue. I loved how they just went back in time to Bruce Banner telling those stories about his childhood friend Logan, but after all of that kind of got out of the way and we were back into present day times with the whole Starship Enterprise Hulk, I didn't really like that part of the story. I'm not too interested to see where it goes. I like the flashbacks, present time stuff, didn't really do it for me. I do think this is officially going to be the last one that I pick up for the Hulk, though. If you guys got a different opinion, let's talk about it more down below. Let me know if you think I should be continuing on with this series, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 7 this week. This is Marvel's Hulk, issue number 9. Next up this week at number 6, we've got Image's brand new series. We have Kea, issue number 1. This is cover A. I thought this was a really fun first issue, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really like the artwork. I really like the storytelling. Admittedly, we didn't really learn a lot about, honestly, anything in this one. But once I was done reading, I felt invested, and I really want to know what happens to Kea and her younger brother, Jin, and honestly, what happened to pretty much everything else. This whole series is kind of up in the air right now. A little bit about it without too many spoilers. It's kind of a futuristic end of civilization type of series, And we're basically just following the lives of, like I said, Kaya and her younger brother Jin. He's a prince, so at some point their family was some sort of royalty. They don't go into a lot of depth about that, but we see what the barren world is, the monsters that are out there, and just them trying to survive. They're hungry, they have no money, they have nothing left. Out of their entire community of people, it's just those two. I want to know what happens, and I'm interested to see where they go further with this story. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 6 this week, this is Image's brand new one, Kaya, issue number 1. And here we go, everyone. We're down to the final 5 issues of the week. So coming in at number 5, this is Boom Studios' Basilisk, issue number 12. This is cover A, and for those of you waiting for it, this is the series finale. But was it a good series? I mean, it was all right. It had its ups and downs. I liked the beginning of the series. The middle of the pack stuff was definitely forgettable, but we did have some cool action throughout the entirety of the series. And now as far as the ending goes, was it a good ending? Was it a bad ending? I'm going to be honest, I was pretty satisfied with it. I actually enjoyed it. We got some big fight scenes to finally wrap everything up. All of our main characters finally came together. We got the origin of the Chimera as well. So like I said, definitely a satisfying ending. And I don't really want to spoil anything else for you guys because if you're like me and you read the other 11 issues, you've definitely been waiting for this one to end. So let's talk about it more down below. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 5 this week, we've got Boom Studios' Basilisk, issue number 12. Next up this week at number 4, we've got Image's brand new series. We've got Dark Ride, issue number 1. This is cover A. Just in time for Halloween, we've got another horror series, and you guys already know I'm a huge horror fan. If it's a horror comic and my shop has it, I am most likely picking it up. This first issue, we got a nice, complete story, I felt. I really like the artwork. We got a nice beginning, middle, and ending. I was very satisfied when I was done reading this one, and it left me wanting more for the next issue. So with this one, we get a nice background story as to how Devil Land Amusement Park kind of came about. And then we get introduced to Owen, who's kind of our main character. He's a new worker at the park. And the whole issue is just an introduction. Just like if you started a brand new job, you're getting walked around the entire building, introduced to every single person. That's exactly how this one was. And the Devil's Land Amusement Park kind of seems like a regular amusement park just on the surface. But once we get deeper into the issue towards the end, there's so much more sinister stuff going on with this one. If you're a horror fan like myself, definitely check this one out. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 4 this week. This is Image's new one, Dark Ride, issue number 1. Next up this week at number 3, we've got Marvel's brand new series, Spider-Man, issue number 1. This is cover A. Now, before I get into this issue, I feel like there's probably a lot of you sitting out there thinking the same thing as me, just getting very burnt out on Spider-Man, Spider-Verse stuff. There are so many Spider-Verse type titles right now. We've got this ongoing. We've got The Amazing Spider-Man, all the stuff that just ended with Ben Reilly, Edge of Spider-Verse, the stuff that happened with Gwen, with Miles, the What If. There's so much stuff. I'm just getting burnt out with it, but I'll tell you what. This first issue was fantastic. I like it a lot more than the Amazing Spider-Man stuff, and honestly, all the other Spider stuff that I've recently read, this first issue is much better. The artwork was fantastic. I loved every single bit of that artwork. It was nonstop action from the start to the finish, but in between all the action, there was a very good story that was being told as well. Now, I didn't finish reading any of the Edge of Spider-Verse stuff, and going into this deals with the whole event that's going on with that series, but I didn't feel lost at all. All the Spider characters are coming together. Obviously, they're trying to fix the web and everything like that. I don't want to spoil too much for you guys because, like I said, this is a very fun first issue, nonstop action, phenomenal artwork, great storytelling, and if you're a Spider-Man fan, definitely pick this one up. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 3 this week, this is Marvel's new one, Spider-Man, issue number 1. Next up this week at number 2, we've got Dark Horse's brand new one, Night of the Ghoul, issue number 1. This is cover A, another horror comic just in time for Halloween, and it did not let me down at all. This is one a lot of you guys recommended to me, and I'm so thankful you guys did. I went into New Comic Book Day thinking, my shop usually doesn't get a lot of Dark Horse, let alone some of the smaller indie publishers. I'm going to grab my Shock Shop issue number 2. We'll see if they have Night of the Ghoul. Turns out they didn't have Shock Shop, but they did have this one. I'll take that trade-off any day because this was a fantastic, oversized first issue. I love the artwork and the storytelling. It felt so complete and it left me wanting more by the time I was done reading it. So a little bit about this first issue without too many spoilers. We get to see our main characters in the very beginning and they visit somebody kind of in a nursing home, but they said they were somebody else. And once they got there, they told me, they said, we kind of lied about that. We're not actually them, but we know exactly who you are. You're the old filmmaker that created Night of the Ghoul. He was taken back a little bit by that, but it turns out that Night of the Ghoul isn't actually just a movie. It was based on his own experiences with a ghoul monster. It's this monster that creates other monsters and other nightmares. It was awesome. Midway through it, though, I was kind of thinking to myself, is all this actually real? Was it just a film? What's going on with it? But I'll tell you, by the time I was done reading it, like I said, I definitely wanted the next issue. Let's talk about it more down below, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is Dark Horse's brand new one, Night of the Ghoul, issue number 1. And this is it, everyone. My top read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is Image's brand new one. We have Junkyard Joe, issue number 1. This is cover A. I'll tell you what, everybody. This was a top-notch comic on every single level. Everything about this comic, from the cardstock cover down to the artwork, it was an oversized first issue with phenomenal storytelling. This comic was an absolute pleasure to read, and I recommend it to anybody. But if you are a Geiger fan, you absolutely need to pick this one up. This was one of my favorite comics that I have read in a very long time. Now, I was a big fan of the Geiger series, but this one, to me, something about this just put it on a whole nother level. Our main character kind of right there, Junkyard Joe, he's a robot and he gets thrown into a war. That's all I'm going to leave you with. I don't want to spoil anything else for you guys. You need to read this one and experience it for yourself. It truly was an absolute pleasure, and I'm so excited to see what else they do with this series. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 1 this week, hands down, taking the crown, we've got Junkyard Joe, issue number 1. And that's a wrap on this week's top 10 list of books, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment down below what your top read of the week was and which ones you think I missed out on. And thanks for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and the little notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.